Welcome to the Dingus Den.
Welcome to the Dingus Den for another edition of the Comic Club, where I'm going to be trying something a little bit differently now with this one. It's I don't have Chris here as I usually do, and we're going to do this sort of smaller format where we do like one issue at a time. And so with this, I want to begin by doing the Action Comics Presents Doomsday Special, and in this special episode, I have KingCastroX from the Comic Cons podcast joining us for me today. And so, yeah, how's it going?
Very good, bro. Super happy to be here. Hey, kids, everybody watching, big love. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to talk about this issue.
Oh yeah, I picked it up from my local comic store, at least like in the last week from recording this, and so it was just something that I kind of picked up on a whim when I found out about it. And I was like, holy crap, this looks awesome. People have been saying so many great things about this, and it's from somebody that from a writer that I haven't really heard of. But then after I started looking into the name, it's like, oh, I've kind of seen this name around like here and there in a couple places, which is really interesting. But definitely a newer writer that not many people are really familiar with.
So I've actually never heard of Waters either, as well as this comic. I didn't know about it. I only knew about it because you had brought it up to me. But super happy I read it, as well as shout out to Barrows. I mean, the art is phenomenal in this also. So
yeah. Shout out to all the people that have made this. Dan Waters, who wrote it, artists being Eddie Barrows and Eber Ferreira.
Ferreira.
Right? That's a name. Colorist. Adriano. I don't know. I apologize for all the name butchering, as always. But Adriano Lucas and then Dave Sharp did the lettering, and also such a huge shout out to the cover. The one I have on the thumbnail there, it looks absolutely amazing, and that's actually a cover artist.
So beastly.
Bjorn Barnes, and yeah, this is some great cover art that you could just recognize from like a mile away. I actually know his work from several of the Ghost Rider comic covers.
Nice.
And the current stuff, so it's awesome stuff that he does.
I want to say really quick too before we do jump in, just back to since we're talking about the art. Some of the art in this is also kind of reminiscent because it's involving Doomsday. You know what I mean? And there's little talk of like the death of Superman in here a little bit. You know what I mean? Which I thought was really cool. And some of the art is kind of throwback-esque. I don't know if you picked up on that, but it looks a bit old school, which really made me happy. It was a good touch. I like I said, I was a big fan of the art, especially with we'll get into it, but this opening conversation with Clark and Kara, like some of the shading in it looks like some of the old comics from like the 90s and things like that. So, but we'll take a look.
Yeah, there is lots of great stuff. So I guess we'll just go ahead and dive right in and see what there is, right? It just begins with an awesome like sort of dream sequence where we see Kara, aka Supergirl, right? Where she's having like this daydream. She's there's this doomsday that's emerging from this big fire. They're surrounded by just like all these like skulls. Kara wakes up from her dream and Clark is asking her, "Hey, are you okay?" Kara then tells him about what she saw, and then that's when, as you're kind of mentioning there, that's when Clark then remembers about his fight with Doomsday, and it's a really nice throwback picture here. It's absolutely amazing. It's one of those things, just like what a great callback to the death of Superman.
100%.
One of the biggest ever DC stories ever. And so, but yeah, Kara then leaves to find a Martian Manhunter. Waiting for her, Martian Manhunter reveals he finds this message in form of a psychic code that's in Kryptonian. Suspected it can be from Doomsday, so we send it to Kara instead. Martian Manhunter then reaches into Kara's mind, and while doing so, they get sucked into like this reality of hell. This is one of those things that's kind of confusing to me for a moment, but we'll get back into that. Anyway, during this time, we then we start getting this narration from somebody. We don't know who it is yet. But this other narrator starts coming in and is talking about these events from like a third party perspective, while also kind of like setting up exactly what's going on in hell. And yeah, all sorts of crazy stuff that happens here. But yeah, we see these demons that starts to attack Supergirl and Martian Manhunter. They both then get restrained, and then Doomsday starts stepping out of the shadows, holding a demon in his mouth. It's what an image here. And then that demon that is in his mouth mutters, "Hail, King Doomsday."
Crazy.
Absolutely
Crazy, so crazy.
Right? And so Doomsday is approaching our heroes there that are stuck. And then this is when the narrator that we've been with for a few pages at this point then reveals himself. He rescues Supergirl and Martian Manhunter, and then it's revealed that it's the devil, who also goes by First of the Fallen.
Such a metal name, I gotta say it. That's so metal, bro. So metal. I also didn't realize how it is. Oh yeah, this is the metal of metal issues. Shout out to DC Metal. But I didn't realize how big he was until I looked at this panel again. I don't know if you see there, but Kara and Martian Manhunter are just in his hands. I don't know if you noticed that, but I didn't see them there earlier, so that's insanity.
It's
but
really cool.
yeah, go ahead. My bad.
But yeah, no, you're all good. It's really cool though, because I'm never really quite familiar with like DC's Hell, right? So it's really interesting to see this.
Me either.
Because I feel like when people think of like Hell, of like the more, I guess of the big two universes being DC and Marvel, everybody thinks, oh, Mephisto, right? Especially with all the stuff that's happened with Mondivision. But it's interesting.
When I think Hell, when I think Hell, when it comes to DC, the first person I think of is Trigon, Raven's father. You know what I'm saying? So to see the introduction of an actual devil, Satan himself, the first of the fallen, metal. You know what I mean? It's really interesting, and it's a forgive me, a cool look into that world. Like I'm like, oh, there's a real hell here, and there's an actual devil. So anyway, you got it. My bad, brother.
Absolutely, you're all good. But yeah, it's really cool delving into this, and we see more of it as we go on here as well. He then starts telling about how Doomsday has been making himself this king, in order to like be able to open the door back to the Earth realm, essentially. And so then he's like, all right, I'm gonna offer you this deal. We can stop him together, because none of us want what he wants, right? I may be the devil, but he knows how to get it away, right? The devil knows how to strike a deal. But anyway,
right.
It then cuts to Doomsday, where we see him then trying to break open this door that the devil was just talking about, to the door of our reality. And then Supergirl bursts out of this door, donning this new, like, red devilish looking armor. And,
so awesome.
Right? And we get this whole, like, during a little bit here, we just see her and Doomsday just go at it, man. And while they're going at it, Martian Manhunter's there. He's trying to communicate with the spirits of the dead, to turn on the king. Because part of the whole reason why this is important is because there's this whole thing to where like the door is kind of like powered like spiritually, in a way. It's
belief, the belief of
right.
Basically, who they believe in as king of hell the most,
right?
Is has that power to open that gate.
The whole reason why King Doomsday is coming, or why he's making himself king.
True indeed. I want to weigh into really quick, man, just to jump in. Absolutely. A couple things here, and I know we're gonna talk in depth here in just a second, but just a couple factors. I want to point out the fact, or kind of why hell is good for Doomsday, right? They touched on that, and I thought that was really brilliant. What are Doomsday's powers? My dude dies, and he can come back even stronger every single time. Based and receive certain benefits based off of the tortures in which he suffers. What happens in hell? You suffer. You go through nothing but torture and pain, and he dies multiple times in hell. And then every time he dies, he kills more people, or he kills more demons or whatever's in hell, showing people like, yo, I can take it, and I'm him. basically
Mhm.
down here. And this is where they start building up the idea of like he's been causing a ruckus in hell, and the demons and
Yeah.
the people dead. They're noticing. They're like, yo, he is king, and this is where the belief really starts to come in. So I just wanted to weigh in on that really quick, and then I forgot what else I was going to say, but we'll talk in depth in a second. But I just wanted to weigh
Absolutely.
in on because that's so key right now to me. I feel on this
Oh,
issue.
absolutely. I mean, hell is just the perfect place for Doomsday. Absolutely,
Oh
they
my
really
God, I'm
lean
telling you.
into it here. It's great. But yeah, to wrap up what happens in this really cool one shot though, Supergirl is now she's getting beat up by Doomsday, right? It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, she's just getting her ass handed to her now. And then we cut back to the big door to where one of the souls then comes up and is then followed by like a horde of souls that then covers
I've
and
got
just
so much to say.
reinforces the door to Earth's reality. But yeah, and then Doomsday rushes to the door holding Supergirl by her cape, and then tries to smash the door using Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
But then after he does that, he finds the armor is empty. And now
And why is that?
Martian Manhunter and Kara are now safe back on Earth with the
Mm-hmm.
warning that Doomsday is out there and he is out for them. And then it just cuts back to hell, seeing just Doomsday is smashing on that door of corpses. And it just says to be continued in Superman and Action Comics. I'm setting up a
So
big return of Doomsday event. But yeah, that's what
I
it is.
didn't know this was a one shot. You just now told me. So I had no idea this was a one shot. Uh, we good to go. We good to speak.
Yeah, let's
I've
go, let's
got
go,
things
let's
to say.
go.
First off, loved the issue. Again, the art was phenomenal. The writing was really fun. I love the narration throughout the book, which is what kind of carried us outside of the initial conversations between Clark, Kara, and then her and Martian Manhunter. Then it goes into the narrating, which again, like I said, carried us throughout the book. Thoroughly enjoyed the narration of the devil. We didn't know it was the devil, but it was kind of fire. No pun intended. Again, I loved the art with Clark. It looked so reminiscent, especially the scene we get of Clark and Doomsday reminiscing back to, you know what I mean, the Death of Superman comic. Thought that was phenomenal. One of the first things that hit me though, whenever he was going into her thoughts, talking about Martian Manhunter, I started thinking about like, isn't one of Martian Manhunter's biggest fears fire?
Yes. Yeah.
And so you do get to see that kind of play out a tiny
It's
bit
great.
in it
That
where he's on
tiny
his knees.
little
I
grate is
can't.
great.
You did.
Well,
He
there's a whole
overcame it
thing.
pretty fast.
Well, there's this whole
Go
thing
ahead.
of like the fires of hell burn slower, so it's more painful,
Yes.
and it's like that's such a great moment because it focuses on Martian Manhunter there, of where that's his weakness.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
great little moment.
I wanted definitely. I agree. I wanted to point out. That's what I'm saying. It's the little things in this book like
Yes.
that. For example, another one right here. Is in the beginning whenever they first go to hell. The first thing that catches Kara Zor-El's eyes and attention is that there's a quote unquote human being tortured. And what does she do? She's a hero, man. She's Kryptonian.
Oh
She's related to
yes.
Clark. She jumps right into action and grabs him. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
yeah.
Pulls him right from the demons. You know what I'm saying? Come
Yep.
to find out, this is the demon in what you were talking about earlier that kind of holds her down and starts trying to,
Yep.
be weird or whatever. So, but I just what a perfect example of the type of not only woman but hero she is
Oh
instantly.
absolutely.
As soon as she sees, somebody in pain or going through it, she jumps to save the day. She doesn't even think like, yo, we're in hell, like, yo, what did this person do? Which
Right.
is what I feel a majority of humans would think, like,
Right.
is this person suffering justified or is it not? But
Mhm.
I thought that was really really beautiful of her. W Cars or L, man, she's incredible.
Just
Um,
all the characters were done really well. There's nobody
Agreed.
that really felt like, hey, they were out of place. I really felt like the writer Dan Waters. He really felt like he really knew the characters, and so big props to that.
I agree. I agree. I wanted to point out also, man, nearest the end, also Doomsday with long hair looks so dope. I'm a sucker. Ever since we read The Incredible Hulk with his long hair, the recent issues, I just found that so phenomenal, man. He looks so beast. The deal with the devil. What'd you think of that? Kara making it, and her initial reaction is like, "There's no way we're gonna make a deal with the
Yeah.
devil." You know what I'm saying? What were your thoughts, just as far as that whole
I think that
transaction?
was a great way that they did it, because they left that deal open ended, right? To where it's like, wait, what happened? Cuts back to Doomsday. Next thing you know, boom, she's
Kara's
out
in the
there
armor.
in the armor and is fighting Doomsday, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is epic, right? You're seeing.
I agree.
It was done really well. I really enjoyed it, and she. Listen, at the end of the day, the devil gets his way. Right? He knows how to strike the deal. He got the deal. He knew he'd get the deal, right? And so,
Definitely.
But they told that well.
I mean, all he did was speak basically facts. Look, if you don't do this, he's gonna terrorize the earth. So it's either you help me now, I got a really cool suit of armor, or you guys are gonna deal with him when he touches surface. So it's
Yeah.
up to you. I love the fact that he kind of went into the origin of the armor. The armor comes from I'm a big geek, man. So the armor comes from, you know what I mean, those that existed in hell before he says I arrived. Like, how freaking metal is that? Like, these are the people that lingered in the depths of evil and pain and hatred before you even got there, my guy. Like, wow, that's crazy. So the armor
Crazy
looks
stuff.
really dope. And I want to say Kara's, I haven't been following Kara lately, so I don't know if this has been her current outfit, but her outfit already, with the super symbol, the Kryptonian symbol, the S, is on the shoulders. She has it on the chest also, but it's on the shoulders, man. There's a nice, like, yellow streak line going. Like, it's a really dope suit. I love, like I said, I don't know if this has been her current suit. I don't know if you know SF,
That's a very
but
good question.
it's beast, bro. I love it. I thought it was really cool. And then the last little thing I wanted to point out too, just a fun little fact or maybe conspiracy, is the first tortured soul that decides to go to the door to protect it. Which, guys, if you don't know, we mentioned a little bit. The way this all kind of concluded was, you know what I'm saying, Martian Manhunter's Kara Zor-El is banging it out with Doomsday, fighting, if you will. Martian Manhunter connects with everybody. What is that? Telepathically, right?
Yeah, like his psychic abilities. Yeah.
With his psychic abilities, and he asks them like, "Yo, you guys, I know you're tortured, and it's probably crazy for me to even ask anything of you, but please, please, just have hope. You guys all know
Yes.
Doomsday, and you see what he can do. Just think about your loved ones. Think about those that are still existing, the kids, those that you have left behind. Think about what will happen to them if you guys don't lend me your hope." Right? You know what I'm saying? Nothing happens, right? Nothing. There is no hope because they are the lost. They are the damned. They no longer have that, Spencer. But
Very well
what
said.
they do have is their bodies, man. Their bodies are made to be friggin' tortured and destroyed. And this is why they're like, this is what we will do, though. They pile up, to the ceiling, blocking the door. And this is where you get the Doomsday bastion through all the bodies to get through the door at the end. But I wanted to say the first body that came, the first tortured soul, it goes into saying, here, what was it? Let me read really quick. But then the first of them comes, having escaped, blah, blah, blah. Who knows what her name is? Immortal. It's long gone by from now. Wait, no, I completely missed what the heck I was saying. That's out of the window, kid. So sorry about that. Anyway, continue. Sorry. I literally had a huge point, and I've been sitting on it, but it's gone. It's gone. I'll tell you later, I guess.
It's all good. It's all good.
I had such a point, dude. I got you guys next time. But
Oh,
awesome
yes.
first issue. First half of the issue. I thought it was phenomenal. The armor, bro. The armor looks so cool.
It's great.
And then I just really loved the involvement of the devil in his narration in this. I thought he was a really cool character in this storyline. Like I was a fan. I'm a fan. I liked it. That's why whenever you said it was a one-off, you know what I mean? It was crazy. Also, the very end discussion that they have with one another, right?
Yeah.
Where Kara kind of goes into like, those people are still down there suffering, and like, is that okay? Like, are we doing the right thing? Is there anything, you know what I mean? Does that make everything that we do here worthless? And Martian Manhunter, I'm going to read it word for word, goes into they came together. The denizens of hell, after all they went through, they gave their very souls up to protect the living, to spare them, their hells, their doomsdays. And what could hold more worth than that? And she says, yeah, I guess that's what we're all doing. It's the best we can hope. It's the best we can ever hope for. I just thought, poetic, baby, talk to me. That was beautiful, beautiful. Mwah, creme de la creme, man. I was a big fan. I was a big fan. So that's how I feel about the first issue. Sorry to rant and rave, man, but I get
I
excited.
follow so many of those sentiments, honestly. I think you said a lot of that stuff better than I could. There's
Thank you.
all sorts of great stuff here. I pretty much just an echo chamber for me at this point. I mean, it's great just seeing Doomsday down in hell. It's great just,
Bro.
all those moments of Supergirl really feeling like it. The only detail that I can really think of that I really want to point out that you didn't mention is that opening page is absolutely amazing, right? It instantly sets the tone, right? The first panel
Yes,
is
you're right.
close up on Kara's eyes, and you see the fire. And I love
Absolute
the wording
fear.
at the beginning here, right? And this is being said as we see Doomsday step out of the shadows. This whole opening here, I'm just gonna read the whole thing because it's amazing.
Please do.
Saying, I was raised on Krypton. Our culture was one of science. There were old gods remembered from times of yore, but they were not worshipped. They were remembered as myths and fairy tales. Krypton had no heaven, it had no hell, and yet we still had a devil. And out comes Doomsday from the fire. Absolutely amazing way to begin this epic one shot.
I just feel like in that moment, after what you said, and yet we still had a Doomsday. Not Daredevil. What am I talking about? There's Doomsday, as you just said, coming out of the flames, the shadowy dark flames, and next thing you know, all you hear is dun dun dun, raining blood from Slayer is what needs to be cued right there. I'm just like, this is freaking awesome. And just the coloring choices that my man chose to use. I forgot who the artist is. Shout out. But the coloring, like it's dark, but also very bright. The orange. It's a phenomenal. I agree with you. Super, super great. Yeah, super great, bro. Good book.
It has me excited to see what's to come from. Well, I already checked out the main Superman line, and so maybe I'll talk about that on Comic Club here sometime. But I've been really enjoying the main Superman line, so this gets me even more excited. Right? They've been setting up so much exciting stuff, just in the series alone, and then now seeing Doomsday's coming in this, and you know what? Maybe I'll even start picking up Action Comics now for it too. Once they start getting more into it. But very exciting.
For sure. Definitely good. I haven't been following Action Comics since I think it was right after Lazarus Pit. I think I picked up the first issue. Haven't followed it much after that. I'm not a big Superman guy all the time. I like him. Don't get me wrong, kids. I love Superman, but I'm spending all my money on Batman and Batman themed books. So
you only have so much money in the world out of all the different comics you could go pick up at the shop. It's
definitely there's variety.
There's a whole lot, and you just kind of have to pick with which the most in your wheelhouse. But that's the point. Any other closing remarks on this main part before we go into the side story?
Like I said, phenomenal book, bro. Phenomenal book. I enjoyed it. It's the metal of metal issues.
Yes.
Nice.
It's really nice. But yeah,
definitely.
Let's get right into this other side story where it centers around a character I'm not familiar with. Did you know who this character was at all?
So I have absolutely no idea who this character is, but I will say, as my introduction to this character, great. I loved it. I loved him.
He is a very obscure character. I'll say that right now because I actually did some research before going into it. And I'm like, wow, he's barely in anything.
Feel free to give us some background also on this character, because like I said, I did enjoy him. I enjoyed how he handled things in this issue, and his suit is also just nice. It's really dope. So
I don't know a whole lot either to answer the questions really nicely. However, there was a couple points, I think one in the main part and then one in the side story to where references to Planet Lazarus, one of the issues, like Wrath of the Gods or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I actually did make sure to read that beforehand, and there's not a whole lot that relates to this, but Dan Waters did do like a 6-8 page little story in it out of like a 46 issue or 46 page one shot ish thing. Planet Lazarus is a whole other beast in its own. But
it definitely is.
But with this, it was very interesting because you actually get to see him on Earth, and Martian Manhunter like communicates with him, and like he's able to like sense sort of like Doomsday trying to come out. So like and but anyway, what happens though is that this character, he has the ability to he condensed himself into a red gem, and that's the last you saw of him. And so he did this so Doomsday couldn't communicate through him anymore. And so this is essentially, this is where it picks off from him. So you see that, oh, he's not dead, he's trapped inside hell here.
I want to say, just bringing in him being trapped inside hell. We're not getting into the issue yet, right? You're still giving origin.
No, that's pretty much all I know.
Okay, for sure. I want to say, with him being trapped in hell, I love the reference to Dante's Inferno.
Yes.
And then starting off on the fifth circle. I don't know if you're a fan of that kind of, but I'm a nerd. But yeah, go ahead. Do your thing. Do summary, and then we'll nerd out.
Dante's Inferno, I played through the game. It's great. But
okay,
anyway.
perfect.
But yeah, as far as this one goes, you know, we see this guy, you know, he's going through his narration.
Do we know his name?
I don't remember his actual name, but his hero name is Bloodwind.
Okay, cool. I was wondering if that's who he was or what, but anyway, we got it. Go ahead, brother. You got it.
But yeah,
My fault.
His narration talks about how he's in hell, obviously, here, and yeah, you're just saying he refers to Dante's Inferno, and you know he. Which one does it begins in?
The fifth circle.
The fifth circle, right? Anyway,
Wrath.
Yes,
to be exact.
Thank you. So anyway, one of those like demons or devils and comes down, and he's like trying to capture him, and he's saying like, what's the words he uses here? You're not supposed to be here, son of man. And so, but yeah, he's then trying to capture Bloodwind. He uses these like Doomsday dogs to help him. Wild-looking like dogs or hounds that he uses there. Anyway, they're then fighting. As they're fighting, he's this devil demon character. He's then talking about how dare Bloodwind bring Doomsday into hell and disrupt the order of hell. He then brings Bloodwind to Hearsay when Bloodwind then dons his hero costume, epic looking costume too, and he like turns out it's something.
I want to say on this part, right? Not knowing who this character is, do you know who I thought, or what I thought was going on whenever I started seeing green lights come from his eyes and a green aura around him? Do you know what crossed my mind?
Green Lantern? Is that what came your
yeah, I was like, is this a Green Lantern character? Like, I've never seen this guy, but I was here for it. I was like, Green Lantern in hell. Like, okay,
yeah. He comes
anyway,
out
go
in
ahead.
this epic-looking suit, right? And yeah, he dons his hero costume, and then he just beats up that devil or demon character. He then
God.
Yeah, and yeah, he then takes those dogs as his own, and he then goes deeper into hell, and it literally ends with literally this whole little side story going full circle, with him walking alone in those like same clothes at the beginning, and another one of those like devils or demons comes up saying, "You're not supposed to be here, son of man."
So, I want to just jump right into it if that's fine with you.
Absolutely, go right into it.
Basically his whole purpose of being here, man, is he's going, and it seems as if his mission is like, I'm gonna mess up every single one of these floors. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It ends with such a beautiful quote. Also, it's how it starts, right? It started off, we didn't mention that the whole book starts off with him mentioning, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. And that's when the demon chimes in, like, you're not supposed to be here, son of man.
Yes.
It ends with, I don't think I'm supposed to be here.
Yes.
Hell was never supposed to have its own Superman. And so what we get into with this issue, not only is he beating up demons, but he's freeing the people within hell. He mentions to them
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you guys might get caught again, but hey, dude, I did my due diligence. Basically, you know what I'm saying? I freed you. He's freeing the people of hell, bro. Like, who is
Yeah.
this guy?
It's
You know what I mean?
crazy.
Like, it is. It is. His suit is phenomenal. The white with the red. What did you call it? Gem.
Yes.
He has a Spawn-esque. It's not exactly like Spawn, but a Spawn-esque cape
Mhm.
going on. I think I really felt heavy Spawn vibes because of the chains and he's in hell. But just phenomenal. The moment he beats up the first demon and takes the Doomsday Dogs, as you said, all he did, bro, was turn around and say, "Stay." And the dogs kneeled down. They were terrified, and he's like, "You're with me now." And then there's just this dope panel of him walking buff as can be in this new suit with these two hellhounds, just huge,
Yes.
man, huge, bro. I'm like, who? Like I said, I had no idea who this guy was, and I was definitely introduced to him, and they were like, "I'm here." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
good stuff. Anyway,
Yeah,
go ahead. I'm
from my
sorry.
understanding, he's had very few appearances previous to this, and so it's interesting. I find it cool that they're taking a smaller character and they're expanding on him, right?
I
And now
hope they continue it.
and they're like giving him this whole new direction of being like, hey, you're a Superman in hell now, and so this is
Mhm.
he's gonna be a huge player in whatever's to come here in this whole Doomsday huge event thing they're setting up, right? So it'll be
Mhm.
really interesting to see what happens. Because obviously he's there because of Doomsday, and so, but not only just because that,
I'm
he's also fucking up hell because he can.
because he can, and that's very much his energy. It seems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Very much. It's like I'm here because I can be, and I'm gonna do what I want to do. Uh you hit the nail on the head. They're expanding on a smaller character. I liked what I saw of him. I would
Yeah.
like to get to know him more.
Mm-hmm.
I will. I would enjoy more of him.
It was an
So I
interesting
hope
side
it's.
story. I think that's at
It
the end of
is.
the day,
It
it's an
is.
interesting introduction, for both of us. This
Mhm.
character, I enjoyed it. Plus the Dante's, the different rings of hell, referring to
Mhm.
Dante's
Really cool.
Inferno. The moment listen, whenever you begin with referencing Dante's Inferno, it's like, okay, you have me hooked. Say no more.
You know it's gonna be right, 100%. I want to say I'm hoping, as you said, he's probably gonna be a part of whatever this next event thing's gonna be. You know what I mean? But I hope that they continue to expand on him. I hope he's a
Yeah,
character that doesn't just get swept under. I like him. I want to see more of this
we'll
guy.
see more.
I have no idea who he is, and I want to experience more of him. He seems pretty dope.
Yeah,
So
just
shout
says
out to the Superman of Hell, man. You know
exactly
what I
to be
mean?
continued in Action Comics. We'll see what happens then. Um,
Definitely.
yeah. Any other
Very good. Very good.
thoughts on this overall?
The art on this one was also very good, very
Oh,
good.
wonderful art
You know
everywhere.
what I'm saying? This final demon is terrifying. His lack of a mouth, I'm seeing, like it's sewed on. He has a sew,
Yeah.
or his mouth is sewed shut or whatever. Like he looks creepy. Like if I saw this guy in real life,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna cry. Um, I didn't realize that those were Doomsday Dogs. Obviously, it said that they were, but I didn't recognize it until you said it, and then I saw the spikes on his back, and I just super cool,
I just
super
looked at
cool issue,
that.
man.
I just looked at that and I'm like, oh, those are freaking Doomsday Dogs. How terrifying is that?
See, I completely missed it. I completely missed it. Again, just with this entire book, not even this issue, but
Yeah.
this entire book, man, the art stood out to me so
Yeah.
much.
Good
Um,
stuff.
I enjoyed the dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good read. Good read. Doomsday
Absolutely.
Special has been, yeah, it was a W.
Yeah,
Definitely a W for me,
I
man.
definitely approved. There was actually one thing that I forgot, that I wanted to actually mention earlier. That's part of the main story,
Hmm.
but this talks about the whole overall idea of hell, right? Whenever Kara and Martian Manhunter is first brought into hell, they're like, wait, how does this exist? This shouldn't exist. And they kind of talk about the medium that
Mm.
hell exists. And I found that very interesting, right? Because it's kind of like this whole mind thing. Like the moment when Martian Manhunter touched into Kara's mind, get that beautiful page, and then they kind of talk a little bit about how it happens. And I find it very interesting, right? Because Kara's like, this place can't exist in a rational universe. And then
Right.
Martian Manhunter replies, humankind believes in it, so it is real, a part of the psychic web that makes up reality. And
I'm like, is this how the universe truly functions? You know what I mean? Whenever I read that, you know what? Definitely,
I
definitely.
had to do a
Continue.
double take because I was like, wait, what? Excuse me? Okay, now I get it.
Mm. It just further adds to also just how everything works here, right? That this hell only exists, as you said. I mean, basically off of, you know what I mean, belief, because we believe it, so it is. You
Yes.
know, because they believe that Doomsday is king. He now has the ability to access, you know, the door, which can take him back to the
Yes.
real world. This whole world is ran off of beliefs, man. I thought that that was an incredible point you just made, bro.
Absolutely.
Good job.
It's a.
I
It's
love it. I
a.
love it.
I think whenever you think about it in the placement of the entire DC universe, I feel like it's a really cool way to add to the whole mythos of everything there is, right? Especially with the whole more mystic slash magic side of things, which I think is
100%.
great, right? I feel like it's one of those pillars that's often overlooked, because you know you also have your like, you know, regular street crime level, you know, street level heroes,
Right.
you have your cosmic heroes, and then you have your special like mystic sort of powered heroes, and so this is right in their wheelhouse, which I feel like is very what do I want to say, um underlooked. So
Definitely. I want to say really quick too before we do get out of here. Also, we
absolutely.
did have 3 special appearances. Man, we had the twins and Crypto in this book. Also, just a quick little. I don't know who the heck the twins are. I just remember reading them in like an Action Comics recently. When I first picked them. But do you know who these twins are?
Where are
Oh,
they
I
from
think
again?
they were. When Clark and Kara are talking, like literally right at the end of their conversation, before she goes outside. They come running up and they're like, Superman, Superman, you'll never guess
Oh,
what
right.
Crypto
I
did.
saw Crypto there, and I'm not super familiar with him.
So I caught them. They're I think they're Kryptonian also.
That makes
But he has like
sense.
a whole Superman family going now, man. It's crazy.
And it's
Shout out to
bad because I
Clark.
don't
He's
even
been
I
busy.
read Superman and I don't even recognize who those are. So you know.
So they may have popped up in the John Kent book. It's either in Action Comics or John Kent because I was looking at both of
Might have
those
been Action
whenever
Comics.
right
That
after
seems like more of a
Lazarus
thing that
Planet.
they're in. Probably Action Comics
Hmm.
then. Probably Action
Definitely,
Comics would be
definitely.
my guess because of it's set up to be where it's an anthology story, right? 3 stories
Mm,
in one essentially, and yeah, new
for
format that
sure,
they
for
started
sure.
doing after Lazarus Planet. So yeah,
Definitely, man. Well, overall, I enjoyed it. Great book. Really
absolutely.
fun. You
100%
know.
agree. Definitely check it
Mm,
out. You know, if it's something that uh, you want to read, definitely, if you can, go to a local comic store, check them out. Highly, I mean, always, you know, support your local comic
definitely.
stores always. Or if none's around you, digital marketplaces are out there too. So definitely go out there, read more comics. And where can the people find you at?
Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, I'm KingCastroX from Comic Con's podcast. You guys can find Comic Con's podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and all streaming platforms. Just type in Comic Con's podcast. It's KHANS. Follow us on all social medias at Comic Con's podcast, and you can check me out personally at KingCastroXGaming Kids on Twitch and Kick. That's my socials as well. I only got an Instagram and a Facebook. And also check out the Socks On or Off podcast from my brother Jules, my co-host over at the Comic Cons, and check out Classic Wolf podcast as well, man. That's my brother. Oh, shout out to my dog, man. Thanks for
Absolutely.
having me, man. It was a great time.
It was a great time. Thank you for coming by. You can see some of me. I run a joint channel over with Chris, who's usually over here, along with a couple other people. So go check us out over at Red Shirts Remastered. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. You're in the Dingus Den. Thank you for watching this video. Before you go, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video. See you next time here on the Dingus Den.